Hi everyone, it's Shannon and welcome to today's video. So I am back with another Touring Plans. There, I got my Touring Plans t-shirt on, and another back of the Best and Worst series at Walt Disney World. Walt Disney World has just announced that the remaining 4 resorts that have yet to reopen or we don't have a date for yet, they have announced dates. So today we are going to be talking about All-Star Music. The All-Star Music Resort is the first one we're going to be talking about. It opened originally November 22nd, 1994, and it is set to reopen on September 16th, 2021. It'll be the first of the remaining 4 resorts to reopen. So All-Star Music is one of the interesting ones because of the 3 All-Stars. So there's movies, music, and sports. And music is the only one of those 3 that has family suites. So it has a total of 1,604 rooms. The room sizes are 260 square feet with the exception of the family suites, which are essentially double that size. They have 3 categories. So they are the standard view, and those are in buildings 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8, or the sections are Rock Inn, Country Fair, and Broadway Hotel. Then there's the preferred view. Those are buildings 1, 2, 9, and 10, or the Calypso and Jazz Inn. And then there's the family suites. So there are 216 family suites, 54 in each of 4 buildings, and those buildings are 1, 2, 9, and 10. So basically all the family suites are preferred view, and that's Calypso and Jazz Inn. So the family suites do have 1 queen bed, 1 twin size sleeper chair, and 1 double size sleeper sofa, and 1 twin size sleeper ottoman, and it sleeps up to 6 adults. All the other rooms sleep up to 4 adults, and they have the queen bed and now the Murphy bed, just like they do at Pop Century. All the rooms have been remodeled and they are beautiful, definitely much better than they used to be. So that is All-Star Music. Let's go ahead and take a look on TouringPlans.com. As always, we're going to start on TouringPlans.com's page for the resort, and here we have Disney's All-Star Music Resort, and it says here the resort is scheduled to reopen on Thursday, September 16th, 2021. And here you can just find some basic information about the resort, an overview, comparing All-Star Music to other value resorts, as well as some pictures. There's a great video here. And now these rooms, these pictures are outdated. They have now been updated. They are going to look more like Pop Century. So we will see that when the renovations, we will see those renovations when the resort reopens on September 16th, and the family suites have been redone too. Now, All-Star Music is the only All-Stars that has family suites. There are 54 in 4 buildings, so I guess that is 216 of them. And this you can see is the regular All-Star basic value resort room, 260 square feet. And then this is the family suite. It sleeps up to 6, and it is 520 square feet. And the most important thing here is you've got 2 bathrooms. So here's just all the information that you need to know about the All-Star Music playgrounds. It has a nice little kiddie pool. And there you have it. So this is all the information is here on TouringPlans.com. Now let's go ahead and take a look at the resort. So here we have the official map of Disney's All-Star Music Resort. And as you can see, there are 10 buildings. And what we'll see is 1 and 2, 9 and 10. These are going to be the preferred. These are also where the family suites are. So that's going to keep in mind. So 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8 are where the standard rooms are. So this is one of the few resorts where I think preferred may be worth it. And we'll get into it in more detail later on. But preferred might be worth it because it consists of 4 buildings. And if you look here, especially if you're going to be spending a lot of time in the pool, there's 2 pools. There's Calypso, and then there's the piano pool. The piano pool is the smallest pool. And it's also the pool that 8 buildings has the closest proximity to the smallest pool. And I guess these 2 and 9, they're probably equal distance to the Calypso, but they're probably a little closer to the piano pool. So keep that in mind when you are, deciding if you're going to maybe upgrade to a preferred room. So here you have the check-in lobby right here. B, which is the food court, is going to be right here. Then there's a Singing Spirits pool bar right here. Maestro's Mickey, so the gift shop, going to be right here. This is the bus stop for the parks. And another important thing is H. So H is the playground. So if you have a child that likes to go on the playground, keep that in mind where you might want to request it's going to be here. If you do have a car, just take a look at the parking. So you have the parking on either side, but if you book maybe a standard, you probably want to avoid 5 and 6 because these are going to be the furthest away from a parking. So there's the overview of the Disney's All-Star Music, but now let's take a look at the room view maps. Okay, so now we're at the view of Disney's All-Star Music Resort, and we're going to go to the room type, and we're going to go to standard view first. So standard view, as I mentioned, are buildings 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So basically all the rooms in any of these buildings are going to be standard view. This is why I do think that if you're going to be staying for an extended period of time and hitting the parks a lot, it may be worth it to upgrade to preferred. I'm not always big on that, but it may be worth it. But let's go ahead. Let's say you do have a standard view booked and you're going to be staying there. A lot will depend on, are you going to be using the pool, and then also, do you have a car? So let's say you have a car. If you have a car, where I'm going to suggest, and let's say you're not going to be going to the pool, I'm going to suggest 8 right here or 3, the strip here, because 1, you're pretty close to the walkway to be able to get to the main lobby, as well as the bus stop. You can just basically walk around and take it and kind of cut across. You're actually pretty close, but then you'll also be pretty close to the parking lot. So let's take a look at 8. And it would be these rooms right here. So it would be 8433 and then 8432. So I would just try in one of these, and it's not going to be much of a view. You're not really trying to get views at the All-Stars. You're really just trying to save money. But this is, I believe, building 9. So not much of a view there. But as far as proximity, this is going to give you the best proximity. It also, of the 2, I personally would prefer building 8 because there is a playground right here. So it would be pretty close to the playground. However, building 3 would not be bad as well. Let's take a look, and right here, and 34, 33, and as you can see, it's very close to the parking lot. So if you have your car, then I would say buildings 3 or 8 in that strip. So that 33 or 32, I believe they're both. So it would be on the building 3, 34, 33, 34, 32. Those are the ones I would recommend. And then I would just say, try and be in that, in the notes that you want to be on that side of the building. Now, if you don't have a car, that's where it gets a little tricky. So you're going to be solely relying on bus transportation. That's where I would say you might want to go to Country Fair. And I would say try and be on this side of the building, so closest to the pool. So let's look at building 6, and I'm going to believe it's going to be right here. And this is 6455. Yes, this is where it is. So that's going to be the pool right there. So 6455, I would try and get in this row right here, and then just try and get on the this side of the building. Now let's go looking at building 5. It would be the opposite. So it would be over here. So you would try to get 5410. And again, I like first floor buildings. So if our first floor rooms, if you'd wanted to get on the 3rd floor, you could do that. But see, there's the pool there. So those rooms right there are going to give you a pretty straight shot and you can just walk down. It's still a long walk. I think it's still going to be a long walk, but that's where I would recommend if you have a standard view room. Now, worst rooms in this category, there's going to be quite a few. I think if you end up on this side of the building, on building 5, which would be, let's say, 54, 54, 54, 55, that's going to be a very long walk. Even on this side over here, this is 54, 33, that's going to be quite a long walk from everything. And the same thing over on building 6. So when you're requesting the buildings, just make sure, you may have to change the numbers, make sure you're putting in the numbers that are closest to this area here. State that you'd want to be east. So you want to be east, you want to be closest to the pool, close to the piano pool, however, so that you can try and get as close as there as possible. As far as Rockin' and Broadway Hotel, I would say buildings 4 and building 7. These are probably the least desirable, especially if you end up over here on this end. I think these are going to be the least desirable. So you're just going to have to walk, a little bit more than you normally would. Now let's move over to the preferred category. So like I said, preferred is going to be buildings 1, 2, 9, and 10. So obviously here, I think you're going to be wanting to be in buildings 1 and 10. So let's say you do not have a car. I would say you want to be in this strip right here. So let's look at 1. Again, you're going to want to be on the east side. And let's say the ideal room for me would be 1410. Again, this is just because I love the first floor. But I think anywhere on this strip is going to be really nice. There you have the main pool right there. So if you want to be close to the pool, then you could. I think any of those are going to be very good. They're going to definitely have great proximity to the main hall. Of all of these buildings, my first preference would be 10 because it would be closer to the bus stop. And then my second would be 1, then 9, then 2. But that's just me. Now, if you let's look at building 1, it's going to be actually 1410. We just looked at that one. So let's look at 10. 10 is going to be the opposite. It will be this one right here, which is 0455. Great view of the pool right there. So beautiful view. And then let's look at some inside. So very convenient. I think this would probably be, if I had to pick one, I would probably request my favorite building or room would be 0455 in the preferred category. As far as least desirable or worst rooms, I don't think there's a worst room. Probably if I would say this one right here, if you're on this end of the building, just because you're paying more, but you're almost at the same level as walking distance as these rooms right here. So you're only saving, maybe 50 feet if you're at the end of these buildings. So those would be the ones where I would say would be the worst. Now, as far as 9 is concerned, let's take a look. And I believe the 9 would be a great building is if you wanted to be close to the playground. So I'm not sure if there's a picture of it, but let's go ahead and show you where the playground would be. So the playground would be around here. So building 10 would still have great proximity, but building 9, so if you wanted to be close to the playground, that would be. But as far as preferred category, my choice would be building 10 and to be on this side of the building, and which would be 0455. Okay, so again, we're going to look at the family suites now, and this is going to be very similar because the family suites are all in the preferred area. So the same thing is going to apply. My first preference would be building 10, second would be building 1, then 9, then 2. And I would still pick the same area. So I would pick this room right here, which would be 0456. And as you can see, it has a very similar view. And you can see right here, this is the lobby. So really close proximity to the lobby. You have the bar and grill right here. There's the main pool. Very, very close proximity. But even this building right here this room right here is not going to be a bad location either. Let's take a look at building 1. And again, the room right here would be the closest to the main lobby. Not the best view, but still you're looking for proximity here. Let's go to this one right here. And again, so there's a couple, you can see the Calypso area. So not a bad area, not much of a view either. So again, still my preference would be building 10. I think here, if you're paying for, a family suite or preferred, you would just say as close to the main lobby as possible. Now, the only difference where I would say is if I wanted to be not in this area right here is if we had a car and we were planning on driving to the parks. Because sometimes you do, bring your own car or you rent a car. You don't want to take the bus. You plan on taking your car. So then I would say I would want to be building 10 in one of these two rooms right here. So this would be 0434. It's literally just a picture of the woods. And here, the same thing. It's going to be not much of a view, just the woods. So the beautiful woods of Central Florida. And the same thing with these rooms here. So if you're just in a preferred regular room, 0433, you can start to see the parking lot over there. Let's take a look at 32. Not much of a view here either. But these are going to give you the best proximity to the parking lot, but then also have great proximity to the main lobby. So you would have a little bit of a walk to the main lobby. However, you'd be very, very close to parking. So if you are planning on bringing your car and you plan on driving it at least some point, then you may want to request a room towards the end right here on building 10 or on building 1. But again, of the two, I prefer building 10. Okay, so now we're back at my dashboard and we're going to request a room. So I've already plugged in my sample trip and I have plugged in the resort, and now I'm going to request a room. So it's going to bring me back to the map that we were just at. And let's say we are going to be in a standard room. Okay, let's say we're in a standard room, and I'm going to say we have our car because we do drive from South Florida. I'm going to say we have our car. I am going to request building 8. Okay, and I am going to request this room right here, 8433. That's the room I want, and you'll say click here to make this request for the room on your upcoming sample trip. There we go, 8433. It's going to plug that in. And as you can see now, it has requesting room 8433. However, you're not done. This is where I think a lot of people make the mistake. They think they're done. This does not request your room. You need to configure your room request. So you're going to configure room request. Here's my sample, and there it has the sample rooms right here. This is where I would say go back to the map and write down the numbers, because 8433, 8434, that's just going to go straight down the line. So I would actually change these numbers, 8432, and then change the number so that it goes we would be adding numbers for both sides so that you would be able to put in the ones closest to that end, closest to the parking lot. And basically what I'm going to put here is first floor room, and then I'm going to be close to parking lot. And that's it. And then I'm going to save. And now my room request has been saved, and it says we will attempt to send this room request starting 30 days prior to your check-in date. And that's it. So there you have it. That is the overview of Disney's All-Star Music Resort and which ones I think are the best and worst rooms at this value. Again, it is reopening on September 16th, 2021. So if you're watching this, it is already reopened. So very excited that the All-Stars are set to reopen. Let me know what you think. And as always, the TouringPlans subscription service is a paid service. It runs about $18 as of this moment, $18 a year. I am not sponsored by TouringPlans. I am just a dedicated user, and I find full value in their service, and they have definitely teamed up with me and allowed me to use their site to make these videos. So with that, if you like this video, click like, click and subscribe. That way you get a notification every time I post a new video. Bye everyone.